Good morning, all of you. In today's session, we are going to start CSIR NET GRF Chemical Science, June 2016, Part C, Series 6. So, in this session, we are going to continue with the 10 questions pertaining 121 to 130 of June 2016 Part C session. In the earlier session, we are already completed 2017, 18, 19, 20 question papers of CSIR NET GRF Chemical Science, and even June 2016 Part B session was also completed. So we are going to discuss about 10 questions in each series of containing Part C of 16. Let us discuss about Series 6 of Part C, June 2016. So here 121 to 130 questions are going to be discussed. Let us see. Question number 121, the single particle translational partition function denoted with F for an ideal gas in a fixed volume V depends upon thermal de Broglie wavelength lambda as if where. Okay, here single particle translational function V is given, and whenever this is in contact with the fixed volume, and the thermal de Broglie wavelength provided as lambda, then lambda to the power is the relation with this F, that is translational partition function. Then what is the value of N that we have to depict? For that purpose, we have the formula. So here a single particle translational partition function F is given by V by lambda cube. Okay, so V denotes what? Volume. Lambda is nothing but de Broglie wavelength. F is nothing but single particle translational partition function. Okay, here what is the relation between this partition function and lambda? There is an inverse proportionality. F is directly proportional to 1 by lambda cube. It can be represented as F is proportional to lambda to the power minus 3, and we can simply denote this power in the form of N. Here within the problem only they mentioned power is denoted with the N. Here what is the value of N here? N value is taken as minus 3. So from this equation only, what is the equation? F is equal to V by lambda cube. So here power whatever present, what is the relation with F that we are going to consider? So N value is taken as minus 3. For question number 121, option number 4 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 122. 15 particles are distributed among 4 levels as shown in the figure. Heat is given to the system and no work is done. The final state would be, okay. So here heat is supplied to the system, and what is the final state they're asking for? Whenever heat is supplied, so 4 different energy levels are provided, and the entire particles are 15 particles are provided. Without any work, if heat is supplied, the system is best represented in this condition 2. So best represented in condition 2. So condition 2 is provided in option number 1. That's the reason why for question number 122, option number 1 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 123. In an NMR spectrometer containing 2.5 Tesla magnet, Larmor precision frequency of proton is 100 megahertz. The radio frequency used in the spectrometer has an associated magnetic field strength of 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla. The duration of 90 degrees pulse in this instrument is, so how much time duration we are going to follow? For that purpose, we have the formula. Omega is equal to gamma into B. Omega stands for Larmor frequency. Larmor frequency is denoted with omega. Gamma denotes gyromagnetic ratio. B is nothing but strength of the magnetic field we are applying, that is measured in Tesla, right? So when we substitute all the values, the final answer, duration of pulse instrument will be 25 into 10 to the power minus 6 seconds. For question number 123, option number 1 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 124. Upon application of weak magnetic field, a line in the microwave absorption spectrum, rigid rotor splits into 3 lines. The quantum number J of rotational energy level from which a transition originates, where the transition is starting, that point we have to depict, right? So for that purpose, we have the values of J are 0, 1, 2, that will be continued for several times. Then selection rule for this J. J is nothing but quantum number, rotational energy quantum number it is. So that delta J is plus or minus 1. That is nothing but there is a one-step excitation of electron is possible in the rotational energy level. So 0 to first, first to second, second to third. That kind of only one-step excitation is possible. Otherwise, 1 to 0 also possible, plus or minus. They indicated with plus or minus. 0 to 1 is called absorption and 1 to 0 is called emission. In both the ways, that kind of transition is possible, and magnetic quantum number depicted as delta mj is equal to 0 comma plus or minus 1. If j value is taken as 0, that means ground level rotational energy, ground level rotational quantum number j is equal to 0, then mg also becomes 0, right? Because j is 0, then mg also becomes 0. If you are taking j value as 1, then magnetic quantum number for this j value is given as -1, 0, +1. How many possibilities are there? 3 possibilities are there. Within the problem they mentioned, by the absorption of light, spectrum rigid rotor splits into 3 lines. So by this it is very clear that so when electron is exciting from 0 level of rotational energy to first level, what happens? Splitting into 3 signals are possible. So within the problem, what they are asking, rotational energy transition originates. That means where it is starting? It is starting at 0 level. 0 to first level excitation is possible. That's why it's starting from J is 0. So J is equal to 0 is provided in option number 1. For that purpose, for question number 124, option number 1 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 125. It is the phase rule physical chemistry question. Phase diagram of compound is shown below. We are going to plot the graph between pressure versus temperature. Volume remains as constant. 2 variables were taken on 2 different coordinates. Pressure taken on the y-axis and temperature on the x-axis. Here, 3 different curves are appeared. One is AB curve, AC curve, OA curve. 3 curves are there. The slopes of lines OA, AC, AB are given as tan pi by 4, tan pi by 6, tan pi by 3 respectively. These are the slopes which are in relevance with these 3 slopes. Okay, so when we consider all the lines, these are called curves. Each curve is a bivariant. So where 2 phases are coexisted. So in between we have areas, each area consisting only 1 phase, either solid, liquid or gaseous phase may be present, but area always contains, if we are considering OAB, this is one area, then BAC, this is another area, OAC, this is another area. So here 3 curves and 3 areas present in this phase diagram. Each area consists of only 1 phase, but each curve is associated. On the curve, there is an equilibrium of 2 different phases, right? So that's the reason why in this phase diagram, they provided slopes as tan pi by 4, tan pi by 6, tan pi by 3 respectively. If melting point and enthalpy of melting are given as 300 Kelvin and 3 kilojoules per mole. So melting point value is 300 Kelvin. Delta H enthalpy value is taken as 3 kilojoules per mole. The change in volume of melting. So volume of melting change is taken as 10 cot pi by 3. So for question number 125, option number 3 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 126. It is a part of thermodynamics. This is called the Carnot cycle. The figure below describes the how Carnot engine works. It starts from adiabatic compression step denoted by. So from this Carnot cycle, where adiabatic compression is there, that we have to predict. Here, volume taken on the y coordinate, pressure taken on the x coordinate. It is somewhat twisted question. So in general, there is a pressure term will be taken on y-axis and the volume will be taken on the x-axis. What they did, just a question is twisted. Let us see how the possibility is there. This is a normal Carnot cycle. In general, we can represent like this: pressure on y-axis, volume on the x-axis. So 1 to 2, it is known as isothermal expansion. This 1 to 2 region, otherwise we can say A to B region is said to be isothermal expansion. Then B to C or 2 to 3, it is denoted as adiabatic adiabatic expansion again. It is also adiabatic expansion. Then 3 to 4, it is denoted as C to D. It is called isothermal compression. This is called isothermal compression. Then 4 to 1, it is called adiabatic compression, right? So here, first let us see what is meant by isothermal, what is expansion, what is compression. Here, isothermal stands for when temperature remains constant is called isothermal. Then expansion means, so at this condition, if volume is increasing, that is called isothermal expansion. Adiabatic expansion is nothing but neither heat nor matter, both will not be replaced. Neither heat nor matter can be exchanged between the system and the surroundings. That is said to be a adiabatic condition. At that adiabatic condition, if we are rising the volume, that is said to be adiabatic expansion. Isothermal compression in the sense by maintaining the fixed temperature. If volume is concised, volume is reduced, that is said to be isothermal compression. Adiabatic compression is nothing but without changing the heat and matter. If volume is reduced, if volume is concised, that is said to be adiabatic compression. So this is a natural normal Carnot cycle, but in accordance with our problem, we have to shift the position of pressure and volume coordinates. Volume taken and y coordinate and the x coordinate, it is depicted in this manner. AD, this denotes adiabatic expansion. BC, this denotes isothermal expansion. So DC, isothermal expansion. BC is a adiabatic compression. AB will be the isothermal compression. In this, what they are asking, adiabatic compression. Where the adiabatic compression is there? Adiabatic compression is there in between B and C. So in between B and C, adiabatic compression is there. That is provided in option number 2. So for question number 126, option number 2 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 127. It is a part of group theory. The point group obtained by adding symmetry operations sigma H and point group C4. So when C4 symmetry and horizontal plane of symmetry, when both get mixed, what is the point group symmetry for the given molecule? If C4 with the sigma H added, that becomes C4H. So C4H point group symmetry is possible. So here it is sigma H plus C4, it is taken as C4H. For question number 127, option number 2 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 128. For a particle of mass m confined in the rectangular box, sides of 2a and a, the energy and degeneracy first excited state respectively. Here, this length is taken as a and this is taken as a 2a. So this is a rectangular box. So in order to depict first excited state, energy as well as degeneracy. First, let us go with energy. Energy formula is given by n1 square pi square h square by 2 ma square plus n2 square pi square h square by 2 ma square, right? So this is the formula. So when it is given like this, here we can apply for first level. So E1 was taken. Then n value becomes 1, so that pi square h square by 2 ma square plus pi square h square by 2 ma square. So if we are taking E11 system, pi square h square by 2 ma square plus pi square h square by 2 ma square, right? So if you are going with E12, here it will be E11 system. E11 system was taken. Now we are going with E12 system. For that purpose, 2 pi square h square by 4 pi square 2 ma square was taken. 2 pi square h square by 4 pi square 2 ma square will be taken. What happens? 2 get cancelled, pi square get cancelled. What is the leftover term? H square by 4 ma square. Leftover term will be h square by 4 ma square. Now, it can be taken as numerator, denominator, both are multiplied with 2. So h square into 2 by 4 ma square into 2. So h square into 2 by 4 ma square into 2, nothing but h square by 4 into 2, it will become 8m. So 2 by a square. So we are taking 2 by a square separately. H square by 8m into 2 by a square. So this is the energy. H square by 8m to a square. Then degeneracy will be, energy degeneracy will be 1. So here two options we have to predict. One is energy, that is h square by 8m2 by a square, and degeneracy is provided as 1. So for question number 128, option number 1 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 129. So it is the part of S block elements. So the ionization energy of hydrogen atom in its ground state is approximately 13.6 electron volts. The potential energy of helium positive in its ground state is approximately. Here, ionization energy of hydrogen at ground state, in order to remove one electron from 13.6 electron volts of energy, right? So what is the potential energy requirement for helium positive in its ground state approximately? What is the energy we have to depict for that purpose? So energy enthalpy, that is taken as ionization energy. So this is the ionization energy. Energy of that molecule, energy associated with hydrogen molecule is given as minus 13.6 Z square by N square electron volts. Energy associated with hydrogen is given as minus 13.6 Z square by N square electron volts. If same formula is applicable to helium positive, for this Z of helium is taken as 2, charge N is equal to 1, being electron present in first 1s shell only, that's why principal quantum number becomes only 1, right? Z is equal to 2, equal to 1. This is for helium positive. Let us substitute these values in the above equation. Minus 13.6 into Z is equal to 2, right? 2 square by N is 1 square it will be, right? Minus 13.6 into 4 by 1. Minus 13.6 into 4 is nothing but minus 54.4 electron volts. This is for energy. Energy of helium positive was given. Now, potential energy to be depicted. Potential energy is equal to 2E. So 2E is nothing but 2 into the value of E will be minus 54.4. 2 into minus 54.4 is nothing but minus 108.8 electron volts. Minus 108.8 electron volts given in option number 4. For question number 129, option number 4 is the correct answer. Let us move on to last question of the series. The character table for D3 point group is provided below, right? So here character table was provided to us. D3 symmetry, identity elements C2, C3, A1, A2, E irreducible representations are provided. For this point group, the correct statement among the following. What is the correct statement we have to depict? Right? It is possible to have totally symmetric normal mode of vibrations, which is IR active. Always there is a fundamental that, so if any molecule becomes symmetry, then that becomes IR inactive and Raman active it will be. So symmetric molecule IR active is the wrong statement. All IR normal modes are necessarily Raman inactive. That is also not a correct one. In some cases, IR active modes may become Raman active also, right? So this is also the wrong statement. All Raman active normal modes are necessarily IR active. So if we are taking any molecule, symmetry molecule, that will become Raman active, but IR inactive. So that will be IR inactive. So this is also the wrong statement. So option number 1, 2, 3 are not correct statements with respect to the given table. So let us go with fourth option. It is possible to have IR active normal modes which are degenerated. This is the correct one. Whatever IR active normal modes are present, all are having equal energy. Equal energy systems are said to be degenerated in nature. Degenerated are nothing but equal energy systems. Okay, it is possible to have pair of IR active normal modes that are degenerated. Option 4 is the correct statement. For question number 130, option number 4 is the correct option. By this, we completed the entire series. Questions started from 121 to 130. Thank you very much for your patience listening. Thank you one and all.